In a world that often worships perfection, there are stories that remind us what it means to be human. Here on Born to Win Legend, we tell those stories. Stories of people who rise to fame only to face battles no camera ever sees. Stories of strength hidden behind smiles. Today, we bring you the journey of a boy who became a global teen sensation, only to discover that fame isn't the final destination, it's just part of the test. This is the story of Zac Efron. He was born on October 18, 1987, in San Luis Obispo, California. From the outside, his childhood looked normal. He was a bright student, raised by humble parents, his father, an electrical engineer, and his mother, a secretary. But there was something brewing inside the boy with the golden smile. A passion. A need to perform, to entertain, to express. His parents noticed his love for singing and acting early. By age 11, Zac was already performing in school plays and community theater. He wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing joy. The joy of standing under the lights, of becoming someone else for a while, of making people feel something. He trained. He worked hard. He never stopped practicing. While other kids were playing video games, Zac was rehearsing lines. He wasn't born into Hollywood. He carved his own path toward it, one audition at a time. And then came the role that changed everything. In 2006, Disney cast him as Troy Bolton in High School Musical. It was supposed to be a small movie. No one expected it to explode, but it did. It became a global phenomenon. Overnight, Zac Efron went from a theater-loving teenager to the heartthrob of a generation. Fame hit fast. Too fast. The boy with the blue eyes became the face on every magazine, the name on every screaming fan's lips. But behind the flashing lights and red carpets, Zac was struggling to hold on to something real. He didn't want to be typecast. He didn't want to be a product of a brand. He wanted to grow, to challenge himself, to act, really act. He began taking diverse roles. Films like Hairspray, 17 Again, and Charlie St. Cloud helped him shed the Disney image, layer by layer. But fame is a double-edged sword. With it came pressure, expectations, a microscope over every move he made. Hollywood doesn't give space to breathe. And slowly, Zac began to lose parts of himself trying to meet an impossible standard. He turned to substances. He began drinking, partying, not for fun, but to escape, to quiet the noise inside. In 2013, he entered rehab for the first time. The world barely knew. He kept it quiet. He didn't want sympathy. He wanted healing. He fell. He stood back up. He stumbled again. But each time, he chose to fight. Zac Efron has never pretended to be perfect. And that's what makes him powerful. He admitted to battling anxiety, addiction, burnout. He opened up about the toll that fame had taken on his mind and body. He stepped away from the spotlight when he needed to. He did the inner work most. Run from. In time, he returned to the screen, not just as a star, but as a storyteller with purpose. With projects like The Greatest Showman, he rediscovered his love for performance. In Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, he shocked audiences with a chilling transformation. And then came Down to Earth, a travel docuseries that took him around the globe in search of meaning, health, and sustainability. It wasn't just a show. It was Zac healing in real time, letting the world see the raw, curious, awakened version of himself. And even when life hit hard again, like the devastating jaw injury he suffered in 2013 that forced him into emergency surgery, he didn't disappear. He came back stronger, not just physically, but spiritually. More grounded, more aware. Zac Efron's story is not just about rising. It's about returning again and again to your core, to your truth. He proved that you can be a teen idol, and still evolve into a real actor. That you can break down and still rise again. That you don't need to be flawless to be inspiring. He taught us that strength isn't about how high you climb, but how often you get back up. Today, Zac is more than an actor. He's a survivor, a seeker, a man who traded the hollow applause for a deeper sense of purpose. He supports causes for mental health. He speaks openly about wellness. He reminds people that their value is not tied to their image. That being human, being real, is more than enough. So if you're watching this and feel like you've lost your way, if the pressure to be perfect is stealing your peace, if your past feels too heavy to carry, remember Zac's story. Remember that the light on the outside means nothing if you don't protect the one on the inside. You can rebuild. You can heal. You can rise again. This is Born to Win legend. If Zac Efron's journey reminded you that no fall is final and that every struggle can lead to strength, then subscribe now. Because your story, like his, is still being written, and greatness often comes after the storm.